catalyst for change with the chance to thrive. Crystal is the one to stir up gifts and save lives. You get exposure, promotion, and marketing too. And advertise for business owners just like you. On Storytime, your interview is global. Virtual or in person, just come on the show. Yo, your story matters. Crystals will open the door. 40 years of experience, ready to give you more on Storytime. Get ready for Storytime. Hey, come on.
Do Not Disturb is already turned on.
Well, good evening. Now that the world knows my Do Not Disturb is on, how y'all doing today? Welcome to Storytime. If you are joining us from Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, all those places, I want you to come on over to YouTube. Come on over to YouTube. We're having our last conversation about domestic violence for this month. We do have one more show next month that's going to be powerful, but we've been having a lot of conversations about domestic violence because this has been Domestic Violence Month. And so we are excited. Right now, you're looking at the picture. If you are there, I want to say thank you for being there. If you are out there, hi, Mr. Matt Jameson. How you doing? Brittany Wilson. Hello, hello, hello. I want to make sure that you guys know that we are here and we are getting ready to bring our guests. Thank you for joining. We have Miss Deirdre Miller tonight. Let me tell you a little bit about her before I come on the screen and before I bring her on the screen. She is a mother of 4, a grandmother, and a professional singer, okay? And her music can be found on SoundCloud. She also had the YouTube page. And her YouTube page will give you a lot of information about her book, about her music, and everything, okay? She's a licensed natural hairstylist and a Mary Kay consultant. All right. And she attended Hampton University and Brooklyn College, where she majored in music education. She's an author and she loves to write. She self-published a book, and she did a book while she was going through a situation about emotional abuse. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I definitely want you to come on over to YouTube if you want to hear about this. And the name of her book is Pulling Out of Darkness. Okay. And then she has one called Breaking Free from Emotional Abuse. Breaking Free from Emotional Abuse. All right. She wrote that while she was in a shelter too. So she's got a lot of information she's going to share about how she went through her transition and came out of her situation, how she exited. A lot of times people don't know how to exit. They stay in situations they don't know how to get out. So we definitely want y'all to get that information. And she went through a traumatic separation and divorce. And so this book talks about how she overcame a lot of things and the healing process that she went through from the emotional abuse. And it can be purchased on her website. So without further ado, we're going to definitely get her in here and we're going to make sure that we let you know. But before we do that, let me bring myself on the screen first and foremost so that I can say hello to you and go through some housekeeping rules. So, hey, how y'all doing? So once again, my name is Crystal. I'm your host for Storytime. And I just want to make sure that you understand where you are. And I want to tell you, thank you so much for joining us, okay? As I said on the screen, thank you for joining us tonight. Say hello from wherever you are, and I recognize you. And let us know if this is your first time watching Storytime, okay? And we have a few things that we'd like to always tell people to do when they come here so we can kind of help you with the housekeeping rules. First and foremost, Storytime is where we connect as human beings, and we talk about life experiences. Like I said, tonight it's going to be about domestic violence. All right. So we normally hear 8 o'clock on Wednesdays and 9 o'clock on Sundays. But this is a special show we have tonight. We will be back tomorrow night. We definitely have a power couple tomorrow night. We have another great show lined up Sunday. So stay tuned because we have a lot coming up. We want to ask you while you're here to share this live with 5 friends. Make sure you share it with 5 friends. Okay. And the other thing that we ask you to do is to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. So if you're following or watching me on any other platform besides YouTube, come on over. I just wanted to let you know that I'm over here. So come on over. come on over. All right. And then we'll check you out. Come to YouTube. Okay. In the meantime, we're going to have a good time. We're going to get some great information, and we're going to bring our guest up. I want you to get ready to receive her. Once again, her name is Deirdre Miller, and we're going to bring her up. And Deirdre, are you there? Are you there? Hello.
Yes, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're
Yeah.
going to have a good time.
I think we definitely will have a good time. We'll go over a lot of good information that will bless people, and I think it's going to help them through whatever phase they are going through in life. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I first want to say we're here. We made it. We've been talking about this for a while, so we are here, right?
We're here.
Yeah.
We made it. We're still standing.
Yes, to God be the glory. We made it. So I would love for you to do me a favor. I talked a little bit about you. I talked a little bit about your background and told them about the grown woman, Deirdre. But I would like to go back to the basics. I always like to go back to childhood. Can you tell people a little bit about who is Dee, the little girl?
Okay, all right. Taking me way back.
Taking you way back.
Okay. So I tell everyone, first of all, I'm a PK. And if you don't know what that means and you're not familiar with that term, it means preacher's kid. So we're labeled as the bad ones. And so in my own respect, I was bad. I had my little, insinuos, whatever that I did. And my siblings, they was bad too. They're going to get me for saying that, by the way. So that comes with a stigma where, everybody knows, that you have to be on your guard because you're the pastor's kid. So growing up, I out of eight children, I felt like I was the one who was sheltered. Like they kept me kind of like in a bubble, when my siblings went out clubbing and everything. I was kind of I was dragged along, but still I didn't go out as much. I was the kind of so-called quiet one.
Okay.
So I kind of was had a sheltered type of growing up, a childhood.
Okay.
But like I said, I did my stuff on the side behind the scenes. So
Wow.
Everybody on the outside saw me as the goody child, they call me D, only at work, I would tell them my name is Deirdre, but my siblings, I guess when they were little, they couldn't say Deirdre. So I've been called D like throughout my life.
Really?
So, oh yeah, D.
So, Dee, what did you live in Brooklyn? Was you in New York? Did you grow up in New York, or did you grow up down here in the South?
Yes, I grew up. I'm a native New Yorker. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, in Crown Heights section of New York.
Crown Heights, New York City. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, big difference down here than being in New York, huh?
Oh, it was like night and day. I actually went to Hampton University, and so my first time on the campus, I came and then just walking in the streets, it was like a culture shock because here I am with my pocketbook holding on to it so tight because there's so much crime in New York and everybody's like smiling and, yada, yada. And I'm like all mean looking, like I won't smile. And I'm like, why are they smiling? So it was just a culture shock to see how they operated here in North Carolina, in down south. And then the city in New York is big difference, total difference.
Okay. So talk to me about you said that you are preacher's kid. A lot of people don't realize the pressure that comes with that. A lot of times you have an image to uphold because you're supposed to be the perfect kid, not just the preacher's kid, but the perfect kid because your dad or your mom are preachers in the church. And comes with a lot of pressure, doesn't it? Because people think that you can never do no wrong, and if you do, you have to be sneaking around. So I think a lot of people say that. So is it true what they say about being a preacher's kid, that most of you are just like everybody else, but it's just that you just have that weight on your shoulder because of who your parents are, And so when you walk around, you're always looking over your shoulder because it's like somebody's waiting and they have that little flashlight on you, like, okay, that's the preacher's kid.
Exactly. I mean, that's it exactly. Instead of looking over my shoulder, it was more so putting on a mask. I would
Mm,
say it was more
mm.
so I was pretty much a phony. I wore a mask. We had
Wow.
to dot every I, cross every T, because it was such a like a growing up, so much discipline involved in, instituted in the home. And I had a fear of making a mistake. Like even in school, I was just telling my grandson and the other day, I was like, I knew all the answers, but just that intimidation of being wrong or saying the wrong thing, not being really sure of myself, I wouldn't even raise my hand. And this was like throughout my whole time in school,
Wow.
just quiet because I was so afraid to make a mistake. So yeah,
Hmm.
that fear, like I can't make a mistake. I have to be on point. I have to be on my A game 24/7.
Wow. That's,
So it was
um,
a lot of pressure, a lot of pressure.
man.
I,
So
I was
was you
never
shy?
really, I was never really myself. I was this fake person.
Really? So was you shy though? Because as an author now, writing all these books, singing, and doing all the things you do, coaching, selling, Mary Kay. I mean, you seem to have come out of your shell. Was you a shy
Mhm.
child?
Yes, I was very shy. The way I am now, I'll talk to a stranger, but when I was growing up, I was right under my mother's skirt. I wouldn't talk. All I would do was smile. So everybody knew me as the one always smiling, but very, very shy. I wouldn't talk to anybody, you know.
Well, I can't wait to show this video. I want to say hello. I see Jenna Dean is out there. Hey, Jenna Dean, thank you so much. We got Matt Jameson out there, Brittany Wilson, and Brittany says that's Jenna Dean. So Jenna Dean from 2 weekends ago.
Yeah.
She's out there. So
Hey,
that's good from Diamond Ink Foundation. So thank you for joining us. And kudos to you for everything you did with the event, the live event,
beautiful,
and all the way that you spread awareness for domestic violence and all the work that you're doing, Jenny. We want to salute you for that because you're doing an
beautiful
amazing
job.
job. Amazing job. If you
Beautiful.
don't know who it is, follow Diamond Ink. And she says hello, Dee, for sure.
Hey,
So,
Jerry.
she definitely says hello. So I will put some of those comments up so you can see what she's saying to you. And
Thank you.
we also have Christine, young lady, Linda says
Yes.
hello, Christina.
That's my sister, and my brother
Okay,
is Matt. Matt is
okay,
my brother.
got you. And so that's Jenna Dean right there on someone else's profile. And Matt, hello, Matt. Matt says hello. He's there.
Hey,
That's your brother.
Matt. Hey,
Yeah,
Linda.
uh, that's good. So that's good. The family sticking. Are those the younger siblings or older siblings?
I am the youngest girl, and I have three younger brothers. So Matt is one of the three younger brothers. He's in the middle.
Okay.
So Linda is 1 year older than me.
Okay.
So all my sisters, I have three older sisters. All my sisters are older than me.
Okay. And then
So
there is, I see Yvette Snow. Yvette Snow is here also.
yes,
Uh,
that's my sister.
wow. The sisters are coming out. I love it. I love the support. Listen, we got a treat for y'all because
Hey,
she
Becky.
sent me a great pictorial group of things to show y'all and just to express her upcoming and those that are in her family. So it's just really, really exciting to see all of those. So I'm going to share that with you in just a couple of minutes. So hang tight and we're going to share that with you. So I want to thank you for coming because a lot of people that have gone through what you have gone through, emotional, verbal abuse, and just traumatic experiences, they keep it to themselves. They go in a shell, they hide. Some of them never get healing. So before we even go into your story, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for using
Welcome.
your voice. Thank you for being brave enough to want to share what you went through to help someone else.
You're welcome.
you know so I want to kick this thing off because we have a lot of good stuff for you guys. I mean, she has shared so much stuff for us, videos from the YWCA part of her life. We have her YouTube channel where we're going to get into some of her stuff about her book. We have a great lineup for you with her, so I think it would be a great time to show the actual slideshow since so many of your siblings are here. I want to show the slideshow. I think that would be good. What you think?
I think so. I think they'll like it.
All right, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to move ourselves out of the way and get ready to show you this slideshow. It is going to be a treat. I believe that you will enjoy this. So, get ready, get ready, get ready. And we're going to let you see what we have. All right. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think that was amazing, Dee. Thank you so much for
Um,
sharing that. I really do believe that that was amazing. You like that?
yeah, yeah, I love it. It
Uh,
brought back so many memories, so
yeah.
many.
Yeah. And so, children, grandchildren, talk to me about that. It's something about being a grandmama. Isn't that a blessing? It's something totally different. What do you feel about the grandmother?
It's a blessing, but I felt like I became a grandmother too young when my son had his first child. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm a grandmother." And I felt so young, like, and then to hear them call me grandma, it was like this feeling like, "Oh my gosh," because grandma is like old, and I never felt old. It's so,
Mm,
but children, my grandchildren give me so much joy. I tell
yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
they're the hugs, the love, the innocence, the honesty that they have, and they tell you about yourself too. So they're like your little Holy Spirit, walking around with you. Um, I have been so blessed. My grandchildren are so full of wisdom. They are
Yeah.
so full of wisdom. So I'm so blessed. I feel so fortunate to
How
have
old are
them.
they?
Um, Starting from the young one is 3, and no, she turned 4, and then 6, 4, 6, and then 8, and then 11, and then one is getting ready to turn 12 in about this in next month, and then 16, I think is the oldest.
Hmm.
16.
Okay. So, did you get married
That's the question.
Mhm.
Did I
Did you
get
get
married?
married? I mean, because you had these children, so I'm just wondering. You were the PK, so I'm pretty sure you were the PK. You probably got married before you had these children, and I'm just trying to lead up into how you got into this relationship. And I was going to
Oh
ask, did
yeah.
you get married? And was it your marriage which you had this traumatic experience?
Yes. So I have four young adult children, and I was married, and all my children are by my ex-husband. So we divorced. We divorced back in 2015. And so yes, they what was your question again?
Yeah, you answered it. I wanted to know if you had gotten married and if the children were from your ex-husband. So the
Oh
answer
yeah,
is yes.
all four are
Okay.
from him.
Because there are some women they're in situations and they're not bound by marriage, so it's a little easier for them to leave. I mean, of course, when we have to get divorces, it's sometimes a little bit more difficult. Would you agree? Sometimes there's a little bit more ties,
Oh
there's a lot
yes.
more responsibilities. We
Mhm.
have a lot more things together, and sometimes it's not as easy for the woman to leave in a situation like that. So, how was that for you? Was it a hard decision? Or was it something where you had to really start to weigh things out when you started to go through the situation which led to your divorce?
So interesting enough, my children were they were teenagers, and almost all of them were 18 or over
Okay.
when I divorced. So only had one that was under 18. And at that time, the family was going through so much turmoil that she even wanted to just get out the house anyway. So,
Okay.
um, so the thing about it, you asked, you said it's hard to leave because of the children. So I didn't have that issue going on, but when you are with someone for 20 years and that bond, and I mean there are people that probably are with someone for 20 and don't have that love factor in place, but I had that deep love factor in place, and I had idolized the man. So to break apart, that was just like my life. Like I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And because I was codependent, and I had
There you
leaned
go.
so much on him. So it wasn't so much the children, because I was so absorbed with myself that one of the mistakes was I did not consider my kids' issues, that what they were dealing with as I went through the separation.
Wow.
So I really was dealing with my issue of breaking free from the love that I had put into this marriage, a 20-year marriage with four children. It was devastating to me. And so the children, you know, definitely they went through, but I couldn't see it. That's what I'm trying to say. I totally was like blind to what they were going through. And I saw it
Wow.
after I separated. It came to me how the scars and the hurt and pain that they had went through, but I couldn't see past myself at that time.
Wow. That's interesting you say that because that's something that when people talk about domestic violence, I don't think they talk about enough. I don't think they talk about the effects on the children enough
Mhm.
because that is very, very important. And you also talked about being in it for 20 years. A lot of women, they don't have financial independence because the husband is usually the breadwinner, he's the provider, and they don't have that financial independence, and they don't have nowhere to go because they don't have the job or they just haven't even saved money, and so they can't imagine being without this person, and so it's traumatizing for them in that manner too, you know. Now, when you finally made this decision to leave, talk us through when you got to the point of the YWCA before I play that clip. Take us there. Was that like the first place you went or when you decided to leave? How did that process go?
So the YWCA, that was in Charlotte, North Carolina. I separated and I was living in Raleigh. I was living in Raleigh, North Carolina, and so like I said, that was in 2015. And so I moved to Charlotte in 2016, and then somewhere around 2018, 2019, I ended up at the YWCA. They had a transitional program that I got admitted into. Prior to that, I went from shelter to shelter in Raleigh as well as in Charlotte. So it was a series of just staying here, picking up, going somewhere else, staying with somebody, living with someone in their home, and just, trying to get back on my feet, trying to find my way clear. After the separation, the divorce, I just went into a depression and I didn't work for maybe over a year.
Okay.
And only God brought me out of that. I played, someone in church made me a worship CD, and I would sit on my bed. I would get up, just sit on the bed and just play that CD. And, through time, I came out of, by the grace of God, came out of that depression and found my way back into just life,
Okay.
just life, because my mother had passed in, I think, 2005. And then in 2016, my dad, or 2017, my dad passed. So it was just a multiple things going on in my mind,
Yeah.
losing things that were, or people that were my life source,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You talked about depending on someone financially, and that was me. I was codependent in every area. Financially, I just leaned on my ex for everything financially. He gave me pretty much anything I wanted, um, and so financially, I just wasn't holding my own. I never did. When I came out of college, when I left college, I moved in with my parents and I worked, and I contributed to the household, but I never was an independent woman. I hear some of my girlfriends talk about, they lived by themselves, they were independent. I feared that. Like when I separated, when I got divorced, I was so terrified. And so you say about how do you leave? It's not easy to leave because of the kids. It wasn't easy for me to leave because I had never been independent.
Independent.
And the thought of doing all of that, getting my own place, holding my own, terrified me. I was terrified.
And guess what? You're not alone. I'm sure there's a lot of people that go through that. And that's why there are places like Interact and the
Mhm.
YWCA, Family Promise of the Triangle. That's why there are places like this, because people need
Yes.
places to go, because it's much better for anyone to leave than to stay. So
Mhm.
first thing we want to say is kudos to you for finding the courage to go. And if you're watching this show, even though society says domestic violence ends in October, we're going to still keep bringing you information to bring awareness, because it's not over just in October, because there's people living this every day. There's people who are still in the relationship because of what you just said, because they can't see their way out, because they have nowhere to go. They have no money. They don't know what they're going to do, how they're going to eat, how they're going to pay bills. But what we want to tell you is there's an exit strategy. And you found an exit strategy by going to a resource. So I want to take this moment. I think this is a good time to let people see what can be available if you decide to go. There are places that do
Mhm.
help,
Oh,
and
yes.
the YWCA is one. And I just want you to see that there is life after you leave, and it can work. So we're going to take a moment to show you this, and we want to thank the YWCA for giving us permission to show this video and to include this video, because this is their video. So let's pull this up and let's show this so you can see what this is all about. And we're just excited to be able to share this information in case somebody needs to know how they need to do this and what they need to do. So take a look at this.
I believe that everyone needs some support in their life to move forward with their goals. And without the YWCA, I don't think that would have been possible for me. Definitely, I would love to have a place where I can enjoy my family and my grandchildren coming to visit me and just having a good time as a family should. I had just come out of a bad marriage and was going through a divorce, and how could I transition to get back on my feet? I had lost a lot in my separation, and I needed financial support. The YWCA, the WIT program, became that support for me. I was in transition. I was going through a lot of hurt and pain, and financially just distraught, economically just really not where I wanted to be. I went through the Women in Transition program here at the YWCA, and it was a great experience. I had a lot of help as far as resources. They provide different workshops that help you set your goals and get back on your feet pretty much and just stay focused on moving forward. To be able to do my job efficiently, I need a permanent housing situation. You go out to do house searches and you find that you're not qualified or you're underqualified. You believe that you have a yearly salary that will suffice for the apartment, but it's not so. And it was very, very disappointing to see the reality of that picture. You have to prioritize your time. You have to be disciplined. My caseworker really helped me to get that discipline in place and help me to see the urgency of I have this amount of time and I need to be proactive and get out and make sure I land something and keep looking. I had to be very choosy of who I applied for because that's $50 per application. And these apartments, they ran from $1,000 to $1,300 a month for a one-bedroom apartment. And that's what I kept finding every time I called here in Charlotte. With my budget of $600 a month, I weighed out my options, and one of those options was finding a room and renting a room. And I found one for $500 a month, and so I took it because I had to live somewhere. So right now it's $500 a month, and it's going up in March to $600 a month. And so I will still be looking to find something affordable of my own. The YWCA is definitely a safe haven, and so I believe the YWCA made it possible for me to stand on my own 2 feet. And you just find your way back home, so to speak, like Dorothy, click your heels 3 times. This is our future that we're talking about.
That was really, really good. I mean, and you could tell you must have been a model or actor or something because you did that well. You did that real well. And I could tell
the videographers said the same thing. They were like, "You are excellent at this," and I was like, "Really?"
Yeah, you did amazing. You did amazing.
Thank
I have
you.
to say, and so definitely can tell that you're natural. You're a natural for sure.
Thank you.
So I want to say that we definitely want to shout out to the young lady who let us play that and the young lady who let us share that. And as you can see, it was brought to you by the YWCA. Special thanks to you and the Wonder World and YWCA Central Carolina for that video. We appreciate you immensely for letting us do that. Now, to go from that to where we are today, where we're sharing domestic violence. Now you are advocate. You went from there to here, pulling out of the darkness and being an author. I mean, you wrote 3 books. We have a picture of 2 of them, but my goodness, look at you, man. You don't look like what you went through. I mean, look at you here, girl. We would never know that you were the person who went through all those things. I mean, you are standing strong, and you are definitely making sure that you're moving on with your life. So if there's a woman watching this today that is still in a relationship right now, that is afraid, they're feeling what you described before, what would you say to that woman or man, because we do know that sometimes there are men being battered.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What
Oh
would you
yes,
say?
there is. Tell me that question one more time.
If there's an individual watching this who is still in the relationship and they're afraid to leave, they're feeling those emotions that you described earlier. They don't know what to do. They know maybe they can call the YWCA, but just is there any words of encouragement you could say to them, because you made it out and look at you now? What would you say to that person if they're watching this and they come back and do the replay, if they're trying to figure out how to get out of their situation?
I would say 3 words. You have options. My big brother taught me that. He, I had called him, and because I was just devastated, I was getting ready to get into an encounter, and he was like, "D, you have options." And the thing about growing up, I was so shy, but I was so fearful, and so I was intimidated of my ex, and so I just thought, to just allow stuff to happen, just let somebody do this to me. Let's let them talk to me any kind of way. Just I was just afraid. And he started getting on me. You have options. Go do this, do that, get up. I would tell that person, get up and move forward with your life. I had to make a decision. Was I going to sink or was I going to swim? And I remember driving, I had no money. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to eat the next day. I don't know what I'm going to do. I went into a parking lot and saw a hair salon. It was an African hair salon. And I sat in that car for maybe 20, 30 minutes. And I said, I'm either going to sink or swim. I'm going to go in here, ask this owner, can I work in there? Because I'm a hairstylist, a braider, and I was so afraid. But I said I had to make a choice. What was I going to do? I did have options. You have options. So I went in there, and she looked at me. I talked to her, and she said, "You can start working here." And one of the girls there said, "Wow, she let you work here? She doesn't hardly let anybody come in." And I felt that that was God, that to allow me. And then from there, I started building up my confidence. It just started building up. I'm here.
Yeah.
I have clients. I'm working. I'm making money. God saw me through. So I would tell them, move forward move the fear out and move the faith in. Just have faith in God. Just if you don't know God, cry out to him, tell him you need help, and God will, you take that first step, he will take the next step. You just make that first step of faith, and just know you have options. 3 words, you have options. You do not have to stay in an unsafe, unhealthy environment.
Yeah, so Christina said, let them know that you always went to church. So that probably held you up too. Being a preacher's kid, for sure. We know that was the case. And Noni said, so inspiring. She says, so inspiring. So that's, you sharing is helping somebody else. That maybe sometimes people go through these things, silently. So thank you for sharing, and thank you for caring, And so we know it wasn't always easy. I'm sure it wasn't always easy to speak out about this. You went through that depression, like you said, right? So that's good. We want to take a moment just real quick to remind you guys, if you're there, thank you. Please take a moment and go ahead, and we would love for you to go ahead and take a quick snapshot, and definitely be sure to take a snapshot. So you can go ahead and follow and subscribe to the channel. Amen. So we want to share something else too, Dee, because you also, I saw a song that you wrote. You didn't tell me about it because you told me about the promo for the book. You told me about the promo for the book. So I'm going to share that. but I saw a song that you wrote right next to the promo on the YouTube channel. I said, "Oh, she talked about this." Talk to me about when you wrote that song.
Tell me the name of the song. You
The
know, there's a
battered,
lot of songs I wrote. Tell me the
okay,
name
the
of it.
battered parts of me. The battered parts
Okay.
of me.
Um, Actually, that is not my song. I want to buy the rights to that song. I fell in love with that song. Matt, my brother Matt, who's watching, he was part of a group called Sister and Company,
Uh-huh.
and they wrote that song. And I was in my, my problems with my marriage, and I heard that song and I was just like, wow, wow. It just ministered to me. And I took that song and ran with it. I asked permission to perform it and everything. It's so it I love it. I just love it.
Music is ministers to the soul. I mean, for me, it does. I love music. It definitely does. So, talk to me about when you wrote the book. Then, you have a book, and we showed the book here.
Mhm.
And so, when was it that you decided that you had to get this out? And I know you had three versions. So, uh, which one is this one that I'm showing right now?
That's the second version. This is the second revised version.
Okay, so this right here is the last one. This is the one.
Yes, that's the third edition. The third.
So three editions. So talk to us about these books and what is it that you're sharing for individuals? And I'll put the information on the bottom of the screen. You can grab it if you'd like to order the book. But what can they learn in this book?
Well, first of all, I started writing the book in 2010. That's when I separated. And so what I did, I started writing paragraphs, of things I was going through. It was like a diary, but it was also, I intentionally wanted to have a book one day. So I started writing down, thoughts that would come to me about verbal and emotional abuse. So from there, I published it, I believe in 2016. It was I self-published it, and I also edited the book myself on Amazon, on that platform, which is a free platform. If anybody wants to write a book, you go on to the KDP, and they walk you through step by step on how to get your book published there. So I kept my paragraphs, my chapters on my computer. I wrote things down and just compiled it in 2016. I put it together. I literally was in the shelter when I published the book. I was with the last abuser. I had met him in Charlotte, and ended up living with him, which was something I never ever thought that I would live with somebody without being married. And it just shows you that you can fall prey to these type of sinful ways when you're connected with someone. I had met this girl, and she allowed me to stay with her. And the day that I was moving in there, she was moving in her boyfriend, and I had no idea. But staying there with her, the Bible says, a little leaven the whole lump. I think that's the
Yes,
scripture.
yes.
And it might be another scripture too that I was thinking of. And that's what happened. I
Wow.
totally started like just being blind to sin. I was living in sin. So she was like, "Oh, you can let your boyfriend stay here too." And so like he would come over, and then I ended up moving out of her place and moving in with him. And never in my life would I thought I would have fell into sin like that. What I guess, fornication is fornication. When I
Yeah,
was young, in my young teenage years, I was in sin. People thought, "Oh, she goody goody," but you don't know what somebody's doing behind the scenes. And so, but God sees everything.
that's right.
You can't hide from God. And so so basically I was writing the book, and I didn't know at the time when I met him, but he was an alcoholic. So I stayed in the library, putting things together, typing things up, and he would call, "Where you at?" Da 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 da. And then I'm like, I'm whispering, "I'm in the library, can't talk, His mind just like snapped or something, thought, I was cheating on him. Told me he had a dream that I was cheating on him, and he saw, he had a dream I was with somebody. I'm like, so that's just how messed up your mind can get when you mess with substance abuse. You just make up stuff. So
Wow.
basically he just one night just went crazy, and he was drunk. And so he didn't believe that, I was in the library, and he thought he thought I had somebody, because, I told him the Lord had dealt with me, and I didn't want to, be with him in that way anymore. And he just knew in his mind that I had somebody else. And I was like, no, but when you're messing with, alcohol and stuff, you
Yeah.
just messed up. And
Wow.
so it became an altercation. And if it was God's plan for me to leave that night, it would have been so. But God did not see for me. My time was not up yet. I
Okay.
had work to do. But while he was, like, holding me down, I literally saw my life pass by me. I literally thought that was the night that I was going to die. And so I
Wow.
found myself out on the street, like midnight, trying to see whose house I was going to knock, whose door I was going to knock on to get to safety, because he was holding me captive in his house. And he didn't want me to go. But thank God the landlord's son came home, and he's like, "You could go." So I grabbed my purse, I left everything, and I ran out of that house. And I went to the bus stop and called the shelter, and they said they didn't have any room. So I still went to the shelter, and I slept outside that night. Um, and I was very fearful. I couldn't wait to daylight. I couldn't wait to daylight. And when daylight came, I got on the bus. I went to work, and I hadn't washed up or nothing, but I went to work. And when I came off from work, I went back to the shelter, and I sat there, and it was only God that turned that caseworker's heart to allow me to come into the shelter. Um,
So let me ask you this. I heard you say something key. I'm glad you got out of there too. I'm glad that you were able to get away. You said second. So he was the second abuser
um,
because your husband was the first one. So he was the second one, the guy in Charlotte. And I asked that question because I don't know if there was more than two, but there was at least two, right?
right, it was more than two.
So let me ask a question. Have you done any research, therapy, or anything to figure out what was causing you to attract these type of people to you, or what was causing you to feel like these were good matches for you? I mean, how did you work on that? Because there might be somebody, sometimes I think it's what we attract. I mean, did you figure that out?
Yeah, I did. I had counseling. I went to counseling. And so my counselor had me do some homework. She said, "I want you to write out the similarities and the differences between your, well, at that time, going through issues with my ex, she said, write out the differences and similarities between your ex and your father." So I went home, and I could not believe the similarities that they both had. So women, and I'm assuming the same for men, we don't realize we have this unconscious attachment, to people that remind us of those that nurtured us.
Wow.
Um, this guy was so much similar to my dad. And
Wow.
I was like, wow. you know. So I saw times where my father would belittle my mother. That's a form of abuse. That's verbal abuse. When you belittle someone and they do it like lightly, like a joking kind of way. But what you don't realize, those words, we grew up, sticks and stones will hurt your bones, but something, sticks and stones,
Words will never hurt you. Yes.
yeah, lies, lies, lies.
Lies. Yeah, because
So
verbal abuse, physical
those
abuse,
words,
emotional. Yes, all of
they they're done kind of in a smirking, joking kind of way, but it lowers the self-esteem of a person. Their self-confidence is shot, and the more you do it, they think less and less of themselves, because whoever they're attached to, whoever that person is, their partner, they have that influence over them. And so that person may define everything that they are. They look, I looked at my ex as like God, and the Lord dealt with me severely with that. I feel like I worshiped him. And so those words, yes, they are really powerful. They're very powerful. So I tell in my book, these scars, they're not worse than physical scars, but they're just as bad as a physical scar, because sometimes you just can't even erase that scar
wow.
without coming to Jesus Christ, coming into the knowledge of who Jesus is, and he can deliver you from anything, any
Okay.
any disease, any power of darkness.
Yes. Well, let's look at the clip, because you did a clip. It's amazing because everything you've been through, it didn't stop you from having that drive and motivation, because you came out, you wrote 3 books, you're singing, modeling, doing all kind of hair shows and everything through our conversations. So obviously, uh, nothing was suppressed in you. So I'm so proud of you for that. But
Thank
let's go ahead and let's play this and look at the clip. One moment.
everybody. This is Deirdre Miller, and I'm here today to talk to you about my latest book, Pulling Out of Darkness. I self-published this book while I was in a shelter, just after coming out of my divorce. And I wrote this book because I believe that there were others that may have gone through emotional abuse in their relationship, and I wanted to let them know how you can come out of bondage in that type of environment and be set free. So in Pulling Out of Darkness, you'll learn how you must have trust and good communication in any relationship, but the key factor is having God's love in your life and embracing his love. So I invite you today to get your e-copy. I will put the links in the comment section or in the description box so you can get a copy today. And I hope that you enjoy reading it and pass it on to your friends and family and co-workers. At this time that we're living in, it's a lot of mental health issues in the communities that is prevalent, and so this book is just to bring about more awareness of the mental health issues that we're having. So please support me and pass this on to others, so that those that need help in this area and with this issue of emotional abuse can get the help that is needed. And thank you for doing your part. Have a blessed day, and God bless you. Bye-bye.
So Deirdre, was you looking at something? Because I can't tell if you're looking at something or what's
Yes,
happening?
I
Okay.
was looking at something because my memory, God is healing my memory. So I had these little index cards, which I always do when I'm doing videos to remember. Because literally, when I go in front of a camera, I just freeze up. Even when I'm singing on the praise team, sometimes I just like, I can't think of the words. It just is. So I had the words in front of me to make sure I stayed and read what I needed to say. I get nervous, so I can't say it when I come on the screen because I get too nervous.
You
So
know what though? It don't even matter because you're getting it done. You are getting it done. 3 books. Oh my God. What?
thank
Okay, let's
you.
talk about this for a minute. Let's talk about what you do right now. Because when you gave me, ladies and gentlemen, when I told her, give me a link, I said, give me a link to what you do, right? Let me tell y'all something. She didn't just give me one link. She didn't just give me two. She gave me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 links.
I had more. I just you told me to
So,
stop, so
so
I had more.
so what did that tell you? That tells you you had some stuff suppressing you, bothering you, whatever you was going through. You you got your healing, sister. You got your healing. You went out
Amen.
and you started finding it. Not only did you make yourself visible because you have a website, which I'm gonna find. I'm gonna go to that website too. I'm gonna actually I'm going to copy
While
that.
you're doing that, can I say something? I had 2
Yes.
points. Want to talk a little bit about my gift, and God has gifted me with all of these talents, and my brothers and sisters always, bless me because they're like, you do this so well, you do that, and I thank God for them because I'm like, I didn't see it. Growing
Okay.
up, I knew, not that I didn't see it, but I don't know, it just didn't really, motivate me but they helped me, to just feel good about myself.
Yes.
So everybody, God has given everybody a gift.
Yes.
And I want to encourage everyone to use that gift, use that talent. I was in a restaurant one time and my daughter was taking me out for my birthday, and an old man got up. He got up from his table and he came over to me and he was like, the Spirit of God would not let me rest. I had to get up to you and come and say that, God has put greatness in you. And I was like, I just listened to him. And, you know, I still be like, Lord, you just, you don't never know why God does what he does. But I have all this talent and, I just feel blessed. I'm a hairdresser. Um, I write. I've been writing since I was a little girl. I wrote a book when I probably was like 11 or 12.
Wow.
Um, entered into contests because of my writing. And I was writing things that I didn't even know the words of, the meaning of the words that I was writing down. It was
Wow.
like just a gift, like the Spirit of God just speaking through me. And I would write. And that's how I do my books. I just start writing and it just comes to me. It just comes and I write. So everybody has that gift in them. In my book, I give you pointers of where to go and how to tap into your gift. Find out what your gift is. And because the Bible says your gift will make room for you.
Yes, it does. Yes, it
And I
does.
want you to know it's in God's timing, not
Yes.
when you want it to happen. One
Yes.
more point. My sister Linda was saying, and you were asking about the drive that I continue to have this drive. And my sister was right. I grew up in the church. I had the church family to support me. You have to keep having that drive. You have to have support. And my
Support.
family was
Yes.
my support. My
Yes.
sisters, my brothers, um, always just was there for me. You
Yes.
always, been there. And like I said, they always encouraged me in my giftedness. My girlfriends were my cheerleaders. They pushed me when I couldn't push myself. They were like, "D, you got this," And I never had that confidence. Like, and people had more confidence in me than I had in myself. And so you have to have that support. I wanted to mention that.
Yes,
That was my drive to continue to write. My brother-in-law, Charles, he said every time I would call him, he said, a writer writes, a writer writes. And so that would make me pick back up my pen, because I would stop writing in intervals. I would write, and then, nothing would come to me. And then I'd stop, and then he would say, a writer writes, and I would pick the pen back up and start writing again. So, yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm so proud of you. And look at this website here. I just want to glance at this website a minute here. I'm looking at it. I see what you have here on this website. So the website, you got a song. Is this your song that you wrote on the website that I'm seeing here?
That's my son, David. He's a producer. He wrote
Okay.
that song, and I love it. Yeah. So that's a little demo of it.
Okay, let me see. Let me see.
Yeah, I'm finna clap my hands. Yeah, I'm finna clap my hands. I'ma do it now. Yeah, I'm finna do my dance. Yeah, I'm finna do my dance. I'ma do it now.
Okay, so y'all got to go to her website. You see it up here. It is dhaircare.wixsite.com. dhaircare.wixsite. So you can hear the whole thing. But so you have something about resilience on here. And here is where you're showing them. And look at this. This does not look like a woman. When they say, I don't look like what I've been through, you are that person. Okay. So right here, you got a free chapter of Pulling Out of Darkness available in stores and online. It says if you want to find out the ins and out of dating in Pulling Out of Darkness, you will find new hope after discovering how love is supposed to be. This is a must read. And here's the phone number. You can call her and get a free chapter now, a free consultation on any of the other businesses. So take this number down, guys, 704-748-0995. I'm leaving it on here long enough for you to do it. I'm going to repeat it. 704-748-0995. But look at this woman. Does she look like the person who just described everything she told you? So here are some testimonies here about Pulling Out of Darkness. It's a must read. This young lady said this book is a game changer for those who went or want a way out of toxic relationship. It tackles real problems that people experience and offers real hope and solutions. Miss what's that? How'd she say her name?
Miss Saraya.
Saraya is a nurse. Saraya is a nurse, and she has said that. We got another speaker, V Mail, that said this book was very insightful. I learned a lot. It helped me in my healing process and journey. Wow. And then here's something else. She said, I cannot begin to express how excited I am to have this book available for everyone to read it. It has empowered me, first of all, to step out of my comfort zone, pursue my dreams, and cultivate a mindset of growth and resilience. And so I'm hoping it will do the same for you. And my, look at you, girl. Look at you. Oh, my goodness. Look at her, y'all. Look at her. Live, laugh, and love. I love it because, like I said, when I saw your pictures, I was like, who is that? Oh, my God. Then you have a section here that says Thrive, and you have a blog. So you're a blogger. Tell us about your blogging. So do you blog for others and ghostwrite?
Yes, I'm on Fiverr, and we're gonna leave the link for Fiverr. I blog. I'm a ghostwriter, so I will write your book for you. You just give me what you want to say, and I'll write the book for you. And like I said, I edited my own book, so I do editing and proofreading. I love to blog. So I have a website, a hair website where I have my blogs on that also. You can check that, and I'll have to leave that one too. But
Girl,
blogging is my forte. I love to blog.
Wow. Yeah, because I see here. So I love the fact that you have so many websites. I mean, this is just amazing how you have all these websites.
Thank you.
I think you might just get the prize. You might just get the prize for the person who has shown me the most websites. You might get the prize for that, D, because I have shared websites with people before, but 13 websites you share with me, girl. Look at here, look at here, look at here. That's all right. I love it. I love it. I love it. So let's look
I
at this
am.
one here. This is the one for the proofreading that she has, y'all. We're gonna show you this one too, because this is blowing my mind here. That you got all these websites. You got all these websites here. That this is blowing my mind right here. Okay, so take a look at this, guy. This is where you want to go if you want to see what she's doing. If you want to get her on Fiverr, what's your name on Fiverr? Deirdre M.
Let me put my glasses on.
That's what it said. It says Deirdre M. So if you look her up under Deirdre M, she says, "I will proofread and edit your work." So if you do that, then you definitely can look her up and you'll see that. And it tells you right here, I'm an author. I love to write. I'm skilled in editing, proofreading documents. I love blogging. And you talk about that you attended Hampton University in Brooklyn. And you have a package that you sell for $25. And just look up. So this is the thing that gets me. Like, you did not let nobody stop you. Okay, you did not let nobody stop you. It's like, you know what, I'm doing me. I'm doing me. Y'all in the comments, if you're not motivated, I don't know what in the world it is. Oh, thank you, Yvette. I appreciate you. No, D is the one that's informative because she's giving me all this information to share with you guys. Now, I accepted the challenge because I'm like, wow. Brittany says that she's very proud of you and may God continue to bless you. Yeah, put them in the comments because I'll share it with her, guys. I'll read it to her in case you can't see it with the glasses. When we get over a certain age, y'all, we have some challenges with things. So life poetry is smiling at you. Life poetry is smiling at you for sure. But and D, Jenna D said, call her. She said, please call me, D.
I will.
She said, call me when you get a chance. Okay. And she said, thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
You have definitely given the people a lot to think about. If nothing else, you have shown that we don't have to stop when we go through these things, that we don't have to let them stunt our growth, that we don't have to let them steal our joy, that we don't have to let them do anything to stop us, to discourage us, so that's a blessing.
I almost feel like we might need to do a part 2. There's so much more I want to share, on abuse, on verbal abuse.
Well, talk to me. No, we got time. I need to hear. So talk to me about verbal abuse. Talk to me about verbal abuse. What is it that you want the people to know? I'm going to put the camera on you.
Yes.
Say what's on your heart, because I will be able to take this and put it out there for the people, because that's what I love about the internet. A lot of people come out here for entertainment, for the drama, for the reality, but this is reality. Okay? Let me say that again. A lot of people come out here for the entertainment and for the drama, but this is reality. So this young lady wants to give you her heart. She wants to let you know what she's been through and how it can help you so you don't have to go through what she went through. So I'm going to say to you, if you know someone who's going through this, make sure you share this with them. Hit the share button. Even if they don't see it live, you will be able to do a replay. All right. So I encourage you to please do that, because she's advocating. All right. So by all means, what would you like to say about verbal abuse? There's so many. There's verbal abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse. Oh my God, physical. And listen, before I let you speak on it, we had a person that told us when we were at a meeting last week, they were sharing with us about how they were being raped by their husband. Because even though they were married, you still had the right to say no. So there's so many layers to this stuff. There's so many layers. But talk to us about the verbal abuse and what you would like to share. I'm going to give you the floor.
And so, as I was saying a little while earlier, that my daughter, she wanted to get out of the abusive environment that we were all in. And we sat down at the table. She said, I want to leave. And it was like a day before her graduate. She was getting ready to graduate and turn 18. And so, I couldn't stop her because she was getting ready to turn 18. And she made this point that just stuck with me, and I put it in my book. And she said, you can survive in a abusive environment, but you can't thrive. And I was like, wow, like, wow, that is so profound. And so you are not able to move forward in a verbal abusive environment. Your growth is stunted because of you feel powerless, number one, and you're weak, and you doubt yourself, because if you've been talked down to for so long, doubt starts setting in. And with doubt, you can't even move in faith, because God said you can't doubt, or he won't perform miracles. You have to have faith. And so it really messes with your psyche when you're being abused verbally and mentally. You will not thrive. You won't move forward. And God would have us to move forward. So that's one of the key things that I hope that you take from this podcast, that life is all about movement. The body was made for movement. We're not to be at a standstill ever in our life. We function by movement. Another point, main point, we fight differently. We don't fight physically. More effective than the physical is when you know the tactics of the enemy. So you have to get to know the enemy, and you don't give in to their cunningness and their schemes. So as a Christian, I pray and I allow God to fight my battles. When I was in the altercation with the last abuser, his mother had overdosed, and I think he was a teenager when she had overdosed. So he had a lot of anger in him. And so that anger just carried on throughout his years. And these things in abuses, these issues that they have, they lay dormant because some of them don't deal with it. And so the closest person to them gets the brunt of their anger. And so that's what happened to me. And so basically he just was going off in a tangent, took my phone, threw it on the floor, broke the phone, told me don't call the cops because he was on probation or whatever, and he didn't want to go back to jail, yada, yada, yada. So I started praying in the spirit because he was getting really volatile. And when I started praying in the spirit, he came down to a whisper, and he said, my mother died. Just like that. He was like a big old monster at first. And I'm praying in the spirit to myself. And then he just said, my mother died. And so I was like, I understand. I said, I know how it is to lose a mother. I said, I understand. And, he calmed down. So that's what I'm saying. We fight differently. We let God protect us and shelter us from these evils. This darkness, and that's why I called the book Pulling Out of Darkness. Sometimes you cannot see it with your natural eye. These things are in the spirit, the spiritual, and a lot of people may not be able to comprehend what I'm saying, but I have to say it. These are spiritual entities, and again, you have to know how to fight. You have to pray, and God will deliver you. God is faithful. He will deliver you. I did not see nothing about these, I call them deceivers. When they approached me to try to date me, they looked fine. Nothing was wrong. It was what drew me. I think Crystal asked, what drew me to these type of guys. they knew the word of God. They were like quoting scripture, and I was like, oh wow, he's a Christian, and most of them had the Christian, title. They said, oh yeah, they go to church, yada yada, and I was just like in heaven, like I loved it. But there was another side to them. It was like living with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And so you don't see that other side until a couple of months. You give them about 3 months and that true colors come out. And that's what happened. It was like night and day. They started disrespecting me, just treat me any kind of way. And I'm like, nobody talks to me like that. And I never, all the boyfriends I had, nobody ever talked to me like that. And that's when the evil started taking place. And so, the more closer you get to God, the more chaos is going to arise. And they'll tell you in all the shelters, when you try to leave that relationship, most women lose their life because they don't get out. But it was the grace of God. I got out that house alive. So just trust God and know that God is able. He's able to save you.
And I put a phone number here for y'all. If for some reason, thank you, John. If for some reason you are watching this and you are that person, think about an exit strategy. Sometimes you could be, that hand signal, that means help. What was the hand signal?
I think it was you hold your hand up, yep, and then you put the thumb down and then you go like that.
Yes. So that hand signal, if most people know when you do that hand signal, that means you need help. So anywhere that you are in the public, if they're in front of you, behind you, just put the hand up. Okay, put your hand up and they'll know. Another time, you can sometimes slip a piece of paper to somebody if you're in a restaurant and you're getting something to eat or you're stopping at the store or something. Sometimes people do stuff. A lot of times you see a lot of content where people are showing you things because they've been through it and these things work. But the numbers on the screen are 1-800-799-7233. 1-800-799-7233. Or you can visit www.hotline.org or text 88788 for help. And then also the young lady here that is a person who does some things, especially if you're in the North Carolina area. She is with the organization Diamond Inc., and she can assist you. She has a lot of resources. She has a lot of handouts, and her name is Jenna Deed. You can definitely reach out, Jenna Deed. You can put your phone number in there, how they can reach you too, and I'll put that up there. We're trying to help each other. And I got to tell you something. Coming up in November, I have a guest coming on, and her testimony, and I had to, she couldn't come this month because she had a lot going on. She just spoke yesterday. I believe, let me see when I have her here. This is she is on the 19th. I'm telling you right now, Wednesday the 19th, LaToya Allen, you want to be here for that story. If you ain't never heard anything, that's going to get you motivated about what can happen, because her boyfriend killed her parents, left her for dead. She survived, but her parents didn't.
Oh no!
So can you imagine that? And he just went to trial a couple of months ago, and this was back when I met her back in like 2012. But there are some stories out here, man. People will tell you about things that have happened to them, their children. You have people who have the whole family has been taken out. So this is serious, guys. You got to get out of these.
Very serious subject. Very. And the great thing about it is there's hope. There is hope for anyone out there who's dealing with emotional or verbal or physical abuse in their relationship. There's hope. And we have Genity and all the other organizations that are willing, holding their hand out to walk with you, even to the courthouse. We have another young lady, Jenny, can give you her information that will assist you in the courtroom. So don't think you're alone in this. Don't ever think. There is a lot of shame involved, but when you want to save your life, You have to be willing to lose everything. I walked out and left everything. I took my purse. That was all I took.
Yeah.
Um, you have to be willing to leave a situation. Um, that's that's the thing. Run if you have to. Whatever you have to do to get out, do it.
Yeah, that's Nikki Hemby. Nikki, the other person, she is a domestic violence
Yes.
survivor. She was left for dead too. And
Hmm.
her phone number is 919-444-6158. She will help you get an exit strategy. She will go to court with you. She will help you figure it
Hmm.
out. That's 919-444-6158. So there are people out here that are willing to help you because they've been through it. So you don't have to have a lot of shame. You don't have to be, hiding. Because the sad thing is, a lot of times it is going to be somebody outside of your family because your family sometimes is judgmental. So I want to say to the family to listen, but don't judge. I repeat,
Hmm.
listen, but don't judge. I'm going to say that one more time so you can hear me. I'm going to get a little closer. Listen, but don't judge. Don't ask too many questions. Hear what they're saying and let them know they can come to you without being criticized or anything. I told you so. None of that stuff. The main thing is get them out of there. Okay. Man, so D, any other topics that you want to talk about that we didn't cover, let me know because like you said, there's a broad spectrum here. And we talked about your book. You're a hairstylist, you're a blogger, editor. People can come to you for the book. You have a YouTube channel also with your music, and we know that they can go there to your YouTube channel. And thank you so much for saying these are excellent
Welcome.
resources. So share. The idea that we want you to know is this is going to be available for replay guide. This is going to be available. So afterwards, if you haven't done it yet, I'm going to ask you again, if you haven't done it yet, real quick, to please, 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 please scan this right here and make sure you subscribe to the channel. And then what we want you to do is to be sure, I'll put it up here. You watch a story time, and there's so many things, but we want you to subscribe, comment, and share this with 5 people, just five. Find 5 people that you can share this with that you know, a mother, a father, a sister, a cousin, a friend, a neighbor, a coworker, somebody that you see something that don't look right. Because sometimes they won't tell you, but you know something is not right.
Hmm.
Share this with them. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm saying, D? Sometimes they got too
Yep.
much shame, so they don't say nothing. They like, but you looking at them, you like something don't look right. Something don't feel right. Follow your gut instinct. But
That's
anything else that
that's real good. That's real good advice. It's excellent advice. Follow your gut feelings. Always. Always. Even with the relationships. When you meet a person, if something ain't, ain't right, go with that. Run. Like I said, run. Run.
wow, wow.
Because I wrote in my book, if it, what did I say? If it looks like a dog, if it acts like a dog or something, then guess what? Ruff, ruff. I forgot how I wrote it, but yeah,
And you said it. You said that what your daughter said, that was a mouthful. You can survive,
mhm.
but you can't thrive.
You cannot thrive. You
Girl.
will not move. Oh no, you will not move forward.
And if you don't do it for you, do it for your family, like you did it for this group right here, right? You did it for this
Yeah.
beautiful group right here. And
Yes.
then you got
Absolutely.
back to this point where you can smile and you can stand and you can
Yeah.
flex and
Can I
you
say
can put
something?
your hair up and do what you gotta do. And
Most of
I
those,
just
can I say something? Most of those photos, I was in the shelters. I was
wow.
in it, even when I was here doing the hair modeling for Dudley and I was at the convention. I was in the shelter. They were picking me up, and I was they had where they were doing a free makeup for free makeovers for other women, and I was helping them with that, with the makeup. Mostly everything I was doing, I was I was living in a shelter. I remember working at a for a president of a company, because most of my life I worked as a executive secretary for the directors. So one time I had a job working for the president of a company. I was taking like buses, and then I had to cross like corporate like streets that were only corporate businesses on. So these were not streets that you really supposed to be walking on. And one day something happened. I can't remember what it was. And she offered to take me home. And I never told her I was in the shelter. She took me home, took me to the shelter. Her mouth, she was like flabbergasted, like she could, because I dress in a suit every day. She was in shock. She said, what you live in the shelter and you come to my job and take the but she was she was just in shock. And so people never knew.
There's a
They
lot of
never knew.
You remember Will Smith, the movie that he had where he did that, where he was taking the bus and going there?
That was
So
me.
there's so many people living in their car,
Oh yeah.
not just the shelter, but their car.
Mm-hmm.
So there are people like homelessness doesn't have a face. It doesn't have a look.
Thank you.
There are people who
Right.
go to work in a
Yep.
suit and tie,
Yep.
and you have no idea what they are going through. That's why you have to be kind to one another. So it's deep, and so I think
I rolled up at the what was it called? The urban, I forgot the name of
urban ministries.
but it was a shelter there. I forgot the name of the shelter, but I had a
Salvation
Lexus.
Army.
No, I had a Lexus, and I came in there, and these girls, eyes all bruised. I mean, just terrible. They looked at me because I didn't have bruises, and they just looked at me, and I'm like, they don't know the mental that I dealt with. But they just looked at me like, why is she in here? I could see the look that they had, like, in the Lexus.
Like you don't belong here.
Yeah, like what you don't belong in here. But yeah, I lost everything. We had like 3 or 4 Lexuses and a 5-bedroom home. I lost everything.
But how do you feel now without all the material? It's not about the material things.
You know how I feel?
Dignity. You have your
You know how I feel? Free. Free. I'm free. No more mental duress. Peace. One thing you have when you leave that relationship, that's an unhealthy relationship, you have freedom. You have peace of mind. You can think clearly. Intimidation and fear, they what's it, stifle your growth. They stifle their growth. Thank you. It paralyzes you. Fear paralyzes you. Intimidation paralyzes you. You cannot move forward. You can't even think correctly. You're so much in fear. So I'm free. I'm free to be me.
Wow.
So I'm gonna tell you today, be yourself, make good decisions, and stay safe.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. And on that note, I'm going to allow you to give us some closing comments. I want to thank you again for being here, man. You've been listening to Dee Miller, the advocate, the author, the singer, the writer, the blogger. Oh my goodness, the hairstylist. Wow. Amazing. The beauty consultant from the Mary Kay consultant. I mean, good God Almighty. So she's a prime example that you can thrive after you survive. Okay. So after you survive and you leave, you can thrive and you can do all the things that you want to do that they've been telling you not to do to hold you back. So just remember that. So which one of your contact links do you want me to leave
The
for the final?
the one with the website, I'm looking at it now to see which one it is. The one that says Dee's Hair Care. Even though it says hair care, that's because I don't have a custom domain, but it's Dee's Hair Care .com, Wix.com. And see, at the end, it says my site. So that is the book. When it says my site, that's the link I want you to leave. And they can get the book. I have to,
Okay, well, there you have it.
I'll go in. I have to fix the, put the PayPal QR code to purchase the book. And they have my phone number, so they can call to purchase. They can pre-order the book, but the ebook, you can get that right away. I can download the copy for the ebook right away.
So say your phone number one more time for me.
My phone number you can reach me at is anytime is 704-748-0995. I'm going to repeat that one more time. It's 704-748-0995.
And there you have it. Deirdre Miller is a blogger, an editor for hire. She can be reached at 704-748-0995 for a free consultation for any of the services that you heard her mention tonight. We hope that you heard something tonight that will be inspiring to you. It will help you to pass it on to someone else if you can't use it. We hope you heard something. If there's some red flag that you've been ignoring, we hope you heard something that will help you to know that you need to exit to the left or to the right, to the nearest exit, okay? My name is Crystal Buddy Smith. I am your Hope Catalyst for Storytime with Shout Crystal. We normally are here on Wednesdays at 8 p.m., so we'll be back tomorrow at 8, and then we'll be here Sunday at 9. So that is when our normal programming is. But every now and then we have a special segment, whether it's to inspire, to inform, for people like what Deirdre's doing now, we need to get it out. So we make room for you. So if you have a story or you have a product or a service, please contact me. Make sure you hit the button on your screen, left, right, down, wherever it is on your screen. Go to it, push the button, hit the notification, hit the bell so that you can come on back. And go through and see the stories that we've already done. You'll be able to relate some. We did Jenna D and the other ladies, was it last week when we did that one? Another domestic violence. And then we did the live event. So right now we have 3 powerful domestic violence, different segments on here. And then the 4th one is coming up November 19th. So we're here for you. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you. We thank you. We thank you, Dee. Thank you so much. Any closing comments that you want to say?
I want to thank everyone for sacrificing their time to come out and hear us today and hear my story. And I love you guys. Y'all have been my cheerleaders and what's keeping me going. Please get the book if you don't have it. It goes more into detail of how to get out and what you can do after you're out and how you can maintain and sustain yourself financially. God would have us to prosper in life, and so he wants the best for you. You deserve the best. You're the apple of his eye. God bless you all. I love you. And you heard it from Dee, and I'm going to say, keep hope alive. My mission is to stir up the gift, instill hope, and save lives. See you on the next story time. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you. Good night.
A catalyst for change with the chance to thrive. Crystal is the one to stir up gifts and save lives. You get exposure, promotion, and marketing too. And advertise for business owners just like you. On Storytime, your interview is global. Virtual or in person, just come on the show. Yo, your story matters. Crystals will open the door. 40 years of experience, ready to give you more on Storytime. Get ready for Storytime. Hey, come on.